So I already have foundation on, and the foundation that I'm using today is the Urban Decay Naked Skin, and I used my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to apply that. I've also gone ahead and concealed any blemishes that I might have on my face, just because, you know, highlighting and contouring doesn't really involve that. So yeah, those are what I have used. And pretty much from here on out now, everything I do is to highlight or contour, or a little bit of both. So yeah, the first thing that I do to highlight my face is use the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. And it is a brightening concealer, so I feel like it brightens up certain areas of my face. And I will apply that like that to my chin, to my cupid's bow, down the bridge of my nose, and kind of up center of my face like that. And then I kind of fan it out. I know like this looks like I'm using a lot, but I'm really not. And that's how I start that. And then I take my handy dandy Miracle Complexion Sponge and just kind of pat that to start blending it. There's a hair. It's like an eyelash. And you can see how that just, I guess it has like light reflecting elements in it, and it just really kind of brightens the whole middle of the face and kind of reflects light differently than my foundation does. So yeah, step one. Now I didn't say this, but just so you get kind of like an idea of the color differences, if you know the colors of these products, for my foundation I am in 1.0, and then for this concealer I am using 125 Very Fair. So this is quite light compared to this. Like you can look at them and see that they are quite light, this is quite light. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time talking. Anyway, the next thing that I do is I take the Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the color Light, and I crank it up. I hate this packaging, by the way. I haven't said that in all of my videos that you've seen me use this in, and I just kind of pat that. I know a lot of people like smear it, but it freaks me out to smear it, so I just kind of pat it. I just leave this under my eyes. I bring it down a little bit, but it really just is under my eyes. And I do bring it up into the inner corner of my eye. Then I go back with the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. This is a very thin consistency. And I just put that, a little bit of that over top, just to like that light reflecting property I was talking about when I was putting it on the rest of my face, just to add some of that under my eyes as well. And then I go back back with my Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I just pounce that all over and make sure that is all blended out or in, however you prefer. And you can see that that just really helps to brighten up the center of my face compared to the rest of my face. So then once I have all of that blended out, I immediately go in with my Real Techniques setting brush and my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. This is just a white translucent powder that has like light reflecting pigment in it. And I just use it to set under my eyes all the way up to the lash line. I don't bring it out up like on the side of my temples. I just pat that underneath just to set that, make sure there's no creasing. I don't really have an issue with either one of these concealers creasing. I just kind of freak out about it. I also bring that up into this area here, I guess, the tear duct area, and just kind of pat again. And I do sweep it a little bit just to make sure that that is all like completely blended out. So yeah, then after I've done all that, I just set the rest of my face with the Clinique Blended Face Powder. This is a transparent powder, and it's also a neutral powder. I know Some transparent powders sometimes are pink or yellow toned. This is not, so that's why I use this one. And it doesn't really add any more coverage, but it just kind of sets everything and kind of perfects it all a little bit. And I think I have a hair on my face. Oh, I do, look at that. Without it being cakey. So then I contour. That's pretty much all the highlighting or cream highlighting I do or whatever. I don't really, you know, do so much of that. But for contour, I use Benefit's Hoola Bronzer. I think this is just a really good bronzer for winter time. It's not very orange toned. It has very little orange in it. So anyway, the first thing I do is I take my Real Techniques contour brush and, you know, get any powder off the mirror. I just swirl it in there and tap it off. Now, since the sides of my head are shaved, I take and bring it all the way back to the top of my ear. And you kind of want to think of it as a line joining up with your mouth. But I generally don't go any farther than the corner of my eye or my pupil, because then it kind of turns into drag contouring, because they bring it all the way in to make the appearance of a slimmer face, or more feminine face, I would say. But anyway, since I do have my head shaved, I do bring it in quite just far back, and I do swirl it into my hairline a little bit, just so there is that decent blend. And if you are not 100% positive where your contour is, you can do the fishy face. And you can see that when you do that, you get a line from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. So that might help. Or if you're having a problem with it, you can roll your brush up your face, and you can tell when you hit your cheekbones. So you want to just contour like right underneath that. So I do contour quite a bit and quite strongly. And as you can see, I am blending up. When you do this, you want to blend up because the idea is to bring out your cheekbones. You don't want to blend down because you don't want to make your face look hollow. This is more about kind of like sculpting your cheekbones, to where if you brought it down here, you would be doing more like a zombie kind of makeup, you know? So then I will go under my chin, not under my chin, under my bottom lip. This makes your bottom lip look more full, or gives the illusion of a fuller lip. And then I do contour my nose, and I just go right down. Like you can see this line here, the way the shadow hits, you can already see the line. So you kind of want to go from here, like down the tip of your nose. Just following like the top edge of your nose. I know not all noses are that pronounced or have that pronounced edge. But so then, once I get that, I just blend that line out so there's not a harsh line there, because you just want to make it look like a shadow, not a contour, like you've actually gone in and sculpted that out. So then for the rest of my face, I know I haven't even done this side yet, but I'm trying to show you the difference so you can already see how this side looks a little more chiseled, or I don't know. You can tell the difference looking at it. I go into my multitask brush from Real Techniques, and I go around the top of my hairline. And since my roots are a little bit darker, I don't really worry about getting bronzer in it too much, because it doesn't show up anyway. I do like to take this right into my hairline because I feel like it looks more natural that way, because there's not a line between your hairline and your bronzer. So that's the top of my forehead, and then I go down around my jawline. And I kind of stay definitely where there is a distinct like demarcation line, I guess. Like, I'm not going technically under, but I'm not up here. I'm kind of just at the angle of the face. And I do go over my ears again, blending it into my hairline, because I have a very obvious hairline around my cheekbone area. So now you can see the difference between this side and this side. This side is not contoured and this side is, and you can definitely tell a difference in the way my face shape looks. Now my whole face is contoured, and you can see by looking at me head on that this kind of looks like the natural shaping of my face. The natural shadows hit here and on my nose and around my forehead and around my jawline. But I mean, if you look at it side on, yeah, I have makeup on, obviously. But anyway, now to highlight, I do use powder highlighters. I love powder highlighters. They're my favorite things in the world. The one I have been using lately is the color Honeymoon from Hard Candy. You can get these at Walmart. I mean, this is actually a blush, but it is so light on me that it really just gives kind of like this nice pearly finish to my face. And I apply that with my setting brush from Real Techniques. And generally where you want to highlight is generally where the sun kind of seems to bounce off your face, or your skin is naturally lighter. Like, you can't normally see it all the time, but around like your eye area and your cheekbones and the center of your face is generally lighter than the outside of your face, or that's the way it looks when people look at you with no makeup on. So I'm going to apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. And I don't know if you can tell, you can see there's this just nice kind of pearly sheen here. It's kind of bright outside even though it's overcast. You can see kind of, this is like shiny, glittery, and this is just normal. So tops of the cheekbones, and if you have an issue with tops of your cheekbones, kind of make this face. I know it's really attractive, so make the Home Alone face, and that will pull down your skin, and you can kind of see where the tops of your cheekbones hit on your face or sit on your face. I do my chin, center of my forehead, and then a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and then on my finger I will take and go over my Cupid's bow just to give the illusion of fuller lips again. And then over top of that I'll just blend it a little bit with my brush. There we go. You can see I have gone ahead and finished my makeup. It's quite dramatic. And I didn't show it in this video because I have just filmed another video on this makeup look using some new products that I've gotten my hands on. So if you want to see how to get this dramatic, kind of neutral, natural holiday look, I will link that down below. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.